Okay, 3 days of documentary work coming up as a director of photography, where this is normal for the file naming structure. So here I'm on camera C, and then we have the date, and then it goes into the clip number. So 3 shooters. First one's actually the director. The second one is a standalone DP, and then I'm the third one on the call sheet. 1 sound guy and a producer, and a whole bunch of characters to follow. But I don't have to bring any of this gear. Originally, it was part of the quote. Now, it's just the camera package. First documentary feature ever. I have been waiting for an opportunity to use my gear in a documentary setting. So I got my cheap small rig shoulder pad, I got my Shape grip extension arm, and then you guys know how I mount my monitor ENG style. So I can't wait to see what works and what doesn't work. So the director just asked me, do you know how to use hand signals? And I said no. So she goes, well, if there's multiple camera operators and we're all shooting a scene, the way we communicate is by the hand signal. So if I'm on the wide, I'm gonna have my hand like this. If the camera operator to the side is shooting a single, he's gonna go like this. Maybe this camera operator is doing a double like this. And then you have another camera operator who's looking at close-ups of hands, cutaways, they're going like that. So it's ideal for shoulder-mounted work, and you have a hand that's on the grip or a free hand, and if you see someone moving and repositioning their camera and they're going like this, that means you know they're getting the 2 shot, so you plan your shot off of that. Really cool method of communication. I didn't know that existed. So if you actually look at the beginning of this video, I incorrectly named the clips. I added an extra 2 in the year. So this is what you do when you hand off the media to the data wrangler, and as long as they put the right folder name, it shouldn't be too bad. And right now we have perfect lighting. So we got some warm interior lighting and then blue hour outside. So you can't really see, but the window is perfectly exposed in the camera. It looks really, really rich. Colors are awesome, despite what a lot of people say. So I just got a shot of them playing chess down there, and now I'm just trying to frame it in a way that has some depth. So this could be the establishing. Actually, we're gonna roll right here. I see people coming up. Got all my stuff on stick, so now we're gonna move back to shoulder and switch out this battery. I got 20% left. I needed to get some redemption from the recent vlog where I was switching and it took way too long, but I wanted to show real time how long it takes now that I'm more comfortable with it. And this is completely fine because I'm not actually actively switching back and forth. It's more of what are we doing for the next hour, you know, and mostly this shoot is being all handheld. So I really can't film when we're shooting out in the actual places, but whenever we come back in here, I can kind of film and talk about what's happening. The problem was the display button is right here, so you can see it takes the display on and off. Sometimes it's too much clutter, and since Sony doesn't allow the picture to be smaller and the info to be on the outside, it's kind of hard to see, so I will just pop it off. That's a little hard to do when you are going like this and reaching. So now what I'm gonna do is direct menu button 5 will be my display. So now when I tap that, on, off. And I just love having all these customizable buttons. This setup is really, really working where I have the handle on the left rail. Normally it's on the right rail because normally it's like really far out. So now that it's more under, I can support it easier with my hand. So it's way easier to hold something like this than it is to hold something like this. That really puts strain on your shoulder. If you're coming to the FX6 from a different camera system, there's a few things that you might not know exist, like the media near full. So you can see the blinking light. That's a very fair visual cue. But there's also a very loud audio cue. So when you're getting low on media and you have your headphones in, you will hear a blaring alarm. No one else can hear it, but it's very loud and disturbing. So it's nice because it's just making sure that there's no situation where you run out of media in the middle of a shot. But be warned, you can turn it off in the camera settings too. So I'm not going to show many faces besides Marco here. He's the sound guy. I've worked with him on a bunch of different shoots. You can see him in my other vlogs, but he has a difficult task of laving up 6 characters simultaneously, recording, monitoring, and doing the whole thing while holding a boom. So I knew he was the right guy for this job, and I'm glad they took my suggestion because I do like working with him. He is for hire here in Central Florida, and he's very good at what he does. All right, just wrapped for day 1 of 3. This rig performed extremely well. I love being able to just switch between high base and low base ISO, and this lens is so perfect for documentary with the aperture wheel. You can just roll it instead of clicking it. This is like literally the perfect lens for documentary. I wish the focus throw was a little bit more linear instead of fly-by-wire, but other than that, I have no complaints for the 24-70 Mark II. We have a friendly 9 a.m. call time, and I'm just making sure I don't make the same mistake as yesterday, so naming the clips correctly. And this documentary is about 6 different characters. They're kids, actually, and they are competing in the World Championships for Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. I didn't know it was a thing, but this Australian production company has just finished traveling the world to Vietnam, Cameroon, Guatemala, Utah, and they're culminating for the World Championship here in Orlando. So as these kids are arriving, I am tasked with following them, just getting their sights and sounds and impressions, a couple OTFs, because this is going to be a very anxious weekend for them. We do get a proper break for lunch, and a good lunch at that, but literally camera has to be nearby in case any action happens. And I love that this can turn on so quickly. Fast camera turn on, fast monitor boot up, and just rolling within about 6 seconds. Really, really helpful for this line of work. So I get to use the second DP's 7200 f4. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but honestly, it's pretty good, and I like how it's internal zoom. I don't know what this behemoth is, but it looks like it'll definitely get the job done. I love learning tips and tricks from everybody on set, so when I get to be around a dedicated sound guy like Marco, I'm just trying to absorb. So I have this, it's like Bumblebee Industries, Road Lav, something. It wasn't expensive, but it was better than just the normal clip that comes with the Road Lav, because sometimes I want to conceal it. So they have these double-sided stickers that I normally use, but they don't really hold that well. So now I see these things, they're kind of like a felt with stickiness on one side, and you basically put it over and it just kind of latches down on each side, and you just put that inside the shirt. It sticks way better than the other stickies that I have, so Ursa tape, I might pick up a couple of these. Third and final day of this feature production. I mean, it's like Groundhog Day now. Name the clips correctly, format the cards. This documentary stuff ain't that hard. So I'm getting everything set up, and by now, all the hotkeys I'm adding, by day 3, my rig is optimized, and I got a little fanny pack. So I was having an issue with my headphones always dangling around. I found a sprig tie in my fanny pack and just put it here, and I'm wrapping the cable and throwing it in there, so it just manages the cable a little bit better. We collectively decided to run the high base ISO for all 3 of our FX6s. It's just too dark in here. So do I just need to man up and get one of these heavy duty setups for like 5-6 grand and just have it for the rest of my life? Because that is a chunk of change. I love only changing out batteries once, maybe twice per day. It's very different than when I was on smaller DSLR mirrorless cams, and I was just like one power unit giving power to everything. No individual batteries. All right, we're just about to wrap. Last shot of the production is grabbing some hotel exteriors and detail shots, and then that's it. The director said to go capture B-roll that looks like Florida, so that is the perfect assignment for me because I always include palm trees and tropical Florida-ness in every bit of B-roll. I mean, just take a look at my reel. There's always sun rays, palm trees, and water. So this is a very easy assignment. Now, was that the last shot? Of course not. There was a last minute interview, which I don't mind, it's part of the game, and I got to use this really cool big light. So I'm gonna use iPhone cinematic mode to blur out the faces. And at the end of the video, I want to talk about how my next Filmmaker meetup is going to be in Atlanta. But right now, I want to talk about how I'm actually getting approached by quite a few companies to promote their products. The problem with that is I don't use these products. It's anamorphic lenses, it's screw-on filters, it's lights, small lights, and weird monitors. So also, this is all the tags we use from all the media in 3 days. But yeah, I don't use this stuff, so I'm not going to promote it. I'm going to ignore it for now until something comes along that I actually would utilize. Feel free to pause and look at all the inquiries that I got from them. But just want to keep it transparent with you guys, and it's kind of cool. Like I said, I got a small channel, but it's still grabbing attention. So I appreciate you guys watching. And Atlanta. This is a big step up for my meetup. I've done it 6 times in Orlando, and now we're taking it to Atlanta. I'm working with a local filmmaker, Adrian, and we're gonna be holding it at Malone's, the 2nd floor, from 7 to 9 p.m. It's right next to the Atlanta airport. I'll be flying in, and it's just a networking opportunity. You can come nerd out about cameras, you can talk to people and have industry conversations with like-minded people above and below your experience level, and just grow that community. And I want to keep growing this. I want to do it in Atlanta. And then, Jared, let's talk. I want to do it in Dallas. I have a ton of people asking to do it in Miami. And then I also have other ideas where I want to make an exclusive digital group. Maybe 5 people where we meet up monthly. We have group calls and then also individual private calls. Talk about key business strategies, what works, what doesn't work. That'd be a paid thing. That's in the future. But this is going to happen August 17th. If you're interested, it's an open invite. Please come, and I'll see you guys there.